Okay, so here's a video on how to make that wall that you were talking about um, with the sort of faceted area. So let's take a look at that. So if I go to architectural template and just start a new project, and I'm just going to create a wall here, and we'll just make a basic generic wall that's like, I don't know, 20 feet long. We'll go to 3D for this, and then I'm just going to pick this, I'm going to edit the type, and I'm going to edit the structure and make it like 3 feet thick. And click OK, and then I'll just rename it to 36 here, just so it makes sense, and click OK. So now I have kind of this thick wall, and we'll take it down to 8 feet. It's up at 20, don't really need it that tall. So now we've got this wall. So the first thing you want to do is kind of build or cut out a big hole in it first. I thought about making an adaptable form that you could move around, but that seems like a big pain, and this is a little bit more freeform and you can adjust it. So I'm going to go to Component, Model in Place, and go to Walls and click OK. And I'll name this Void 1. And I'm going to create an extrusion, and I'm going to go to Set, and I'm going to pick my work plane. So I'm going to go to Pick Plane, and I'm going to pick the face of that wall. Then I'm just going to draw using a line like where you might want the edges, of that particular cutout to be. I know some of them will probably be straight. I'm just going to do a kind of quick version, and you can obviously be more precise with yours. And if I hit check, it's going to make an extrusion. And I'm just going to pull that, you could pull it all the way through the wall if you wanted to. That would be kind of interesting. You could see the back of it from the other side, but I'm just going to pull it partially into the wall, maybe, -2 feet, right? So if I go to wireframe, right, that guy's sitting in the wall, okay? So now I'm going to pick it, I'm going to change it to a void, and I'm going to cut from this that. Right, and then finish the model, go back to hidden line. And so basically what I've done is I've cut a void out. Now what I want to do is facet that because it's just a flat void, and I'm going to use the mask to do that with, just because in the project environment it's the quickest way to do that. So I'm going to go to Architecture, Component, Model in Place, and basically do the same thing you guys were doing with the ceiling. I'm going to use mass. It's going to turn the masses on. We'll say, seat Cove 1. Okay, so it starts the mass, and now you can, you could just draw lines back and forth to create the triangles that you want, here, like I could draw a line from there to there to there and just facet that all out. Or if you want a little bit more variability, you can do what we did with the point elements, use the point elements. So if I come in here to the point elements and I just start placing them kind of around in various places, so I can adjust them later. You can use these to create sort of interstitial areas. So these are hosted on those faces, but if I get rid of driven by host, it will allow me to pull them off. So I'm just pulling these kind of up, and you can move them around. So again, I'm getting rid of the driven by host and pulling them sort of up and out. So I'm just going to do this a few times and do a real quick version of what you might want to do with yours. So rid of driven by host. Pull it up. Okay, so you can add as many points or not use points or whatever, but now I'm just going to go into reference line. I'm going to have it draw on face, and I'm going to turn on 3D snapping, and I'm just going to start faceting this thing, right? So now you're kind of in the environment, right, that you were in previously. So if I know that all these are going to be facets, I can come and move just quickly around the edge just to give me those edges, right? And then I can start peeling these off in other triangulated sections however I want to peel them off, right? So it's kind of up to you at this point, right? So now I'm just filling in the gaps with these lines, and then we'll have to go back, right, and make forms out of these. The thing that is nice about having these points in the middle, I'll just leave that one curved. I mean, you don't have to have them all triangulated if you don't want to. So I'll leave a few like that aren't triangulated just so you can see them. But like you can just go in here and start clicking these things, right? So now we've got all those triangles, and now it's just you go through and face each one of these. So I'm going to go through and face a couple of them, and then I'll pause and finish them off and show you what it looks like. Let me put one more reference line, maybe from here to here. Or actually there is one there, it was just hidden, right? Okay. So if I go in now and I select this, this, and that, and I create form, right? I create that, create this one, create form, just create a face there, and then if I go to shaded, right, you'll be able to start to see those taking place. I'm going to go ahead and pause and finish the rest of them, and I'll come back. Okay, so I've finished faceting all of these, so now I'm going to put a material parameter on. So there are forms on all of those triangles and rectangles. I'm just going to window around all of them, and I'm going to filter, and I'm going to remove the reference lines and the points, and that's going to give me access to the material for that application. I'm going to put a material parameter on it. Facet material, right, and I'll make it a type. It's going to make it all the same material. If you need variation in your material, just let me know. Then I'll finish that mass, right? And so you can see it, but if I pick that mass family, go to edit type, I'll get an option for the material, and I'm just going to put carpet on it for right now, just so we get a different color. Click OK, click OK. So now, right, I've got that material applied to it, right? So you can see how that looks. Okay, and then you can also see it twisting the rectangular ones, so you have these sort of rectangular twisted ones, and that's probably how I would do it. Now you also still have access to select this and go to edit in place, and those points are still movable. So if I just pick that point, you could actually, I mean, I could do something like actually pull it out, you know, so it's outside the wall, right? So if I finish the mass there and I swing around this, whoops, I got the wrong thing. Hold on. So let's pick that, and what I want to do is actually grab this green one and pull it outside the wall, right? So if I finish the mass there, now I've got this thing actually coming outside the wall. So there's all sorts of things you can do, and just let me know if you have any more questions. But I think this is the best way to sort of proceed for you guys.